Hi guys, welcome to K Studio where we help to enhance your technical skill which will help your personal and career goal. So for that we let's introduce ourselves. I am K from K Studio and I'm here to give you some quick hacks, Excel tips, and teach you or help you to understand Excel formulas, be it basic or advanced. So for today's video, it's our first class and we will begin with Excel basic functions. So for our today's topic will be sum if, and sum product. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. Just one quick thing, if you like this channel and if you like this video and if you think this will help you and your friends or anyone, please like, share and subscribe to our channel, and this will be really appreciated. Thank you so much. So let's begin. So in today's class we are understanding sum if and sum product functions. So over here you can see we have two tables. Table 1 which contains of various products and their quantity sold and price, and there in table 2 we have Q1 total quality sold and price as per the months, and we need to just figure out and the total conclusion, what's the total sale for both the tables. So we'll begin with that. So we'll begin with the table 1. So in table 1 we will be first using the sum function. So if we need to use the sum function, we would require the total for every product. So what sum function does is basically that will just adds up all the values and provide you the total. So basically, just in simple word, it will be providing you the total sum of all the products. So for that we will require column D with the values. So for that we'll just figure it out. How? By clicking equals to and multiplying column B figures with column C. So like this we will get column the total figure for each product. So what you can do is you can just repetitively do this step with all the remaining products, but there we comes to help you as we will provide you those hacks and tricks which will save your time. So for this what you can just do is after filling up first column or first cell, we'll just click on this green square button on the right and just select this value and just drag it down till the last. So over here if you can see we have got all the figures, all the total of all the products. So now we just need the sum, the total of the total sales which we got. So for this what we just need to do is click equals to, press sum, and without, here again we have a quick hack for you. Just do not go and select this, or you can do is that we can click on the tab button and just select the range for which you require the sum. So this is how it could be done. So to get the sum we also have one more tip. Either you can just again use the sum function, or what you can do is click on equals to and go on the right top corner and just select auto sum, and this will automatically select the range for which you require the sum, and you can just customize it as well. So I'll just click auto sum, and this over here you can see it is showing D3 to D9 for which only we need the sum. So I'll just press enter, and this is how you can get the sum. So these are the two formulas from two functions from which you can get the total sale. So if you see, to get the total sales we had to perform first column D steps, that is we need the total for each product, and then only we can reach out to the total sales or the total sums. But we have alternative for this as well, and for this we have sum products. Here the sum product function steps up. So in column H we'll show you how we can get the whole total sales without performing the D step. So what you just need to do is again press equal to, write sum P, just press tab and this will just select the sum product function and will help you to begin with it. So as you can see, sum product is selected. Now we have over here in the formula, you can see we require some arrays. So what is arrays? Arrays is basically the table or the range from which you require the values to be picked, or which the table contains your values. So over here our array 1 would be column B, that is quantities sold, and then press comma. Over here as we need two columns, two arrays to come up to our products. That's why we are going for the array 2 as well. You can go up to as many arrays you want if you have more number of criterias or columns. So array 2 will be price. And just close the function by closing the brackets and press enter, and see you get the total sales, or the total, you can see the conclusion of the whole sales. So you can see the figures are exact same, and this is where some products come up and saves your time. So you can use this to avoid this whole steps, or as you want you can do it. So if you can see on the table 2, we have sales for Jan, Feb and March. So either you can do the same way by first taking out the totals for individual months and then summing up, or you can use sum product functions in two ways. What over here we have done is we have took sum product for each month, like Jan, Feb and March. All you can do is you can directly put some products in the sales first quarter. What you need to do is be careful while using multiple arrays, because over here you are doing some product for 3 months, and which will give you the conclusion for the sales for the Q1. But over here you can't just go with some product, like some product, and just select all these 5 6 arrays by putting commas and just selecting all together. This will give you wrong information and the wrong total, because over here what some product do is multiply this column B with column C with column D, E, F and G, so on and so forth. So this will give you the total of multiplication from column B to column G, which is not the right conclusion. So what you need to do is select some product, select array 1 and select array 1 comma, select array 2, close, then add plus, again use some product, other arrays, and then you can go with some remaining two quantities, and this is how you will get the actual total, which is 28,610. Sorry, it's not 28, I'm sorry, it's too like 86,110. And how you can check is just by selecting 1 2 and 3, and you can see in the bottom there is some which Excel also provide automatically, and this is matching our value. So this is how you can use sum and sum product, and sum product is really good if you will use, and this will help your time if you have this scenarios. Otherwise you can just, if you just needs to add up the column, just use auto sum or sum product. Now let's move on to sum if. So what is sum if? So sum if help us when we need to get the total of any sales or any amount or anything based on certain criterias. For instance, over here you can see we have a daily sales report where we can find there are given various products for which we have certain quantity sold and amounts for week wise also and the day wise as well. So on the right hand side you can see we have a sales summary for the month. So in this table, we need to provide total sales for product wise as well as the overall total sales for the month. So when we talk about the total sales for the month, we will just require the sum product. But when we talk about the total sales for product specific, in this scenario we will use sum if. Sum if they will help us to just uh, extract the total quantity and total sales for that given category. So how we'll use that is, as you can see for here, we need purses, bag, wallets and jackets. We need to get total quantity and sales for these. So first we'll take out total quantity for all the categories and then we'll move to total sales. So how we'll do is sum if range. Now for the very first thing we require to give in this function is the range. Now what range means is that the criteria which we will give further, that criteria belongs to certain range in the table. So for that range, in this case, the criteria for us is purses. We need total quantity for the purses, and that the purses will be found out from the column, which column or from which range. So in this case, we will have column C, which has product categories and from which our criteria will be picked, right? So for our range, we will select column C. I'll fix this or freeze it. I'll tell you what freezing is later. Now, a criteria. Now it's time to give the criteria now. In this situation, we have a criteria that we want total quantity and total sales for purses only. So for this, we'll select purse, which is cell H4. I'll freeze it again. Then we have sum range. Now sum range, we need total quantities for the month for purses. So now our sum range would be column D, because we have total quantity given in column D only. So that's why we are picking column D. So now what this will do is, this will give us the total quantity for the purses for the whole month. Now we'll close the function by closing bracket and just press enter. So now you can see we have 256 in all. We have the total quantity for this month. The total quantity sales for purses are 256. So this is how sum if works. Now again you can do the same process by selecting the range and all stuff, or else you can do is what I told previously, is that just select the small square green and then drag it. Now while we are dragging it up, it is really important that if we are putting a formula, we need, and if we need the formula to be stick like that for all the other criteria, for all the other categories, the formula should be fixed in certain manner. Now what I mean by fixing, or what I mean that it should be in the same manner, is that now when I told previously that in the formula I'm freezing certain columns or certain rows, this is what I meant, is that by freezing it means that whenever I drag my formula or copy paste anywhere, that the column or the row or the part of the formula which I freeze will remains the same. Like over here, I have freeze some or the other thing in this whole formula. Now if you see the dollar signs over here, this means that I am freezing the column C. Like if I have dragged down a bit, it's still the column C for bags as well, for wallets, or for even for jackets as well. Like the C has the columns, the column C is freezed full, like from C1 to the end, whichever cell it is freezed till there. So if I'm moving downwards or rightwards as well, it will be C only. It won't move to D1 or it won't move down to C2 or vice versa. I hope it is making sense. Let me know if you have any doubts in the comment section below, and I'll help you to clear your doubts. So when you freeze, there are different types of freezing, I'll tell you. So if in this case, like I freeze the whole column C. I don't want it to move anywhere. The values, the range which I have given has to be picked up from C only. So that's why I freeze the whole column. Now if we move to the second, and how you can freeze is that if you are, just let me show, if you have to freeze any cell, any column, any row, just select that and then press F4 or function F4, and this will help you to freeze. The double dollar sign will come. If you press one more time F4 or function F4, the freezing pattern would change. Now this, if you see, there in the first one there was a dollar before C and there was dollar before the given before 4, right? But now if I have pressed one more time freezing F4. Now in this case you see there is a dollar just before 4. That means the row 4 has been freezed, but the C column hasn't freezed. So what is that? If we move to what this that means is that if we move to rightward side, the row would be same but the column won't be same. Like C4 shows persists, but if we move to the left one, now it is showing 13. So this means that we are sticking to row 4 only, but the row or the columns are not same. Over here you have seen D4. Now if we move again to rightwards, it will be showing E4. 4 is column because the dollar sign before the alphabet, before the row or the column defines which part we are freezing in the formula. So if we again press F4, now now it can be seen that the dollar sign has been shifted in front of C. So in this case it means that the column C has been fixed but the row is not fixed. So if we move downwards, you can see that it is changing. So column C is fixed but the row we have shifted to 5, then 6, then 7 and so on. And if we move even rightwards, it won't change anything. It would be C4 only because we have fixed the column. So this is what the freezing thing is, that values will not change if we freeze any cell or any range. So in this case, we have fixed range, whole range, that is column C. Now if we see the next, the given criteria, the criteria section, I have just fixed H not 4. That means that I have fixed column H but not rows. Like see, when I have dragged down the formula over here, it can be seen that the H column, see, H is fixed, the row or column is fixed, but the row has been changed. It has shifted to row 5. Same in the given and over here as well. Column H but row 7. So because we need to extract values for this particular criteria, because we have different criteria mentioned, that is why we are just fixing it H, because in column H we have different criteria but our rows are different because our criteria are mentioned on different rows. The pulses are being mentioned in row 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So like this. And again, if we see in the formula, I fixed this sum range as well because our range for the sum is in the same column, that is column D. So I've just in column D, right? So I have completely fixed column D by, if you can see, there is dollar before both the D's. So this is how that the our ranges, because I fixed range completely because my range is in the particular section and I don't want, if I am shifting formula here and there, upwards and downwards or rightwards or leftward, I don't want my range to be moved because then my values can't be detected or I would get an error while using the functions. So this is the case why, and this way is easy for me. It is very convenient for me because I can just then easily drag it down and I don't have to just reperform the same functions various of time. And now in the same case I can just easily, I cannot easily move, but I can just same thing I can do is over here as well for the sales. Now again just use sum if. Now range, now over here again my range would be same, that is C, because my per I want to find purses, and that can be found in column C. I'll fix, I'll double fix it, or I can just freeze the whole column, whatever you want to say. Freeze, because this dollar thing is called freezing a cell. That means freezing a cell or a row or something, that I want that cell or that particular row or that particular column to be freeze, to be stopped, and that has to be used in different formulas or different rows. So that needs to be same, consistent. So in this case my criteria would be again purse. I'll just do, because I have different criteria, so I'll just fix column H. I have not fixed row because I have different criteria in different rows, and then summary. So in this case I'll just freeze column E because I have my figures in column E. Now see, and now I can just easily drag it down till below and I'll get the figures for all my criterias. Now I just need to do sum. I'll be using auto sum, sorry, because oh, there's some issue. Okay, just a moment, I'll just use sum and I'll just drag it down to here. So I'll show you one more case. Over here we want a weekly report, right? So in weekly report I want to provide Monday status for every day in the week, and then I want total for all the criteria, or for all the products in quantity wise and in the sales, in the total value wise. So in this case my criteria would have changed, and this would, in this scenario my criteria would be the weekdays, and this case you can see that I have selected my range for the criteria is column A, because over here the days, the number of days has been, sorry, the days, weekdays have been mentioned, so I've selected that. My criteria would be Monday, same wise goes for Tuesday, Wednesday and so forth, and then my range for quantity would be column D, and say and for values my sum range would be E. So in this you will find it out. I'll try to provide this file for your practice, blank file for your practice, so you might can be helped using this. And as for weekly, just my column range, my first range would be column B, because my criteria is based out from column B only, that is week 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then again for quantity I would select my sum range would be D, and for values my column, like my sum range would be E, right? And then for the total sum you can just use sums function or just the auto sum function. I hope this might be clear for you, and this is for today's video only. Let me know if you guys have any doubts or queries, or if you are not able to understand, or if there is anything I can improve. Please let me know in the comments down in the comment section below, and I'll help to clear the doubts in the comment as well, or I'll just take another video or a live session for one-to-one clear or a clear basis, so I can lively show you guys what I meant. If I'm not clear and if there is anything to improve, I'll try to fix that in my, and I'll show in my videos, and I'll show and hope that would not affect the further videos, and that would be convenient for you. Oh, thank you so much. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and yeah, share as much as you can. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching.